Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Wednesday, the 12th day of July, 2023, Wednesday of the 14th week of the year, the 14th week in Ordinary Time. Coming to you again from the pathway that goes alongside the berm of Leesville Road, the northern part of the campus, I think it is, boundary. This little walkway, again, part of the berm, the statue of St. Ignatius of Loyola, again, honoring the first pastor, Father Jim English, who was a Jesuit here at St. Francis. And behind me is the great culvert, the drainage ditch for some of our rain runoff, and then the old church there that is now Founders Hall over there. The interesting thing, again, about this poor walkway that I keep always saying should be repaired by somebody and put back together, because it looked like it was a wonderful walkway before Leesville Road built up to be a 4-lane highway almost, and whatever, and it became very busy. But the thing about it is that there are on this campus a series of memorial trees, some of them which are labeled for individuals, some of them which are just not, but you know that they are memorial trees. And so here is one here that does not have a name on it, but has a beautiful little kind of stone marker at the bottom, talking about bringing back those who have gone to heaven to be with us again. And so it's a lovely, again, path that needs a little bit of repair and tender loving care. Hopefully, eventually somebody will wake up and listen to me and do something about this. But anyway, so along this path today, Genesis is our first reading, as it's been the last couple of days, last couple of weeks. We make a tremendous jump from Jacob now to talking about his son, one of them, Isaac. Again, Jacob has 12 sons. Talking about Jacob's son Joseph. Jacob is the son of Isaac. And so Jacob has 12 sons, Joseph being one of them, and Joseph being one who was a little bit cocky and arrogant. And so his brothers decide to get rid of him, and they sell him off to some Ishmaelites, who sell him off to some Egyptians, to sell Joseph off to some Egyptians. We don't have that encounter. That encounter does happen during the season of Lent. We hear it in Genesis, but we've jumped from Jacob and wrestling with an angel yesterday, and now today his son Joseph has risen from the distress that he was in of being sold as a slave. He is now a servant to Pharaoh, and there's a great famine in Egypt, which is spread to other nations, including Israel. And people are going to Egypt to try to find grain, because Joseph knows how to ration grain because he's very smart. And so, again, arrogant, smart, all these other kinds of things go into being Joseph. Again, not a great guy, in the same way that Sarah, not a great woman. Again, and God is still working through both of them. So Joseph's brothers come because of the famine to get some grain, and Joseph realizes that it's them. They do not realize it's him, because Joseph is all made up, because Egyptians decorated their faces in many ways. And you've seen pictures, and there is a truth to that. And again, the using of coal and all kinds of charcoals and whatever it is to accent the eyes and whatever. Again, Joseph obviously seems to have done that, gotten into that habit, and that whatever. So they don't recognize him, but he decides to have some fun with them. So he locks them up, which is, again, not nice. And then he tells them to bring the youngest son, Benjamin, of Jacob. And again, it's sort of like an offering or whatever it is. And they'll get the grain. And the brothers are all very distressed about this, and saying that this is all because we sold Joseph into slavery. We never should have done that. And the thing about it is that Reuben, who is the eldest, keeps saying to them, look, you never should have done this. It's not my fault. But yet, Reuben, as the eldest, should have taken the lead to say what was right and what was not in all of this, and he doesn't. So it's a fantastic commentary on dysfunction in a tremendous family. And yet God is going to work, some of this out. And as they all lament what it is that they've done to Joseph and feel they're being punished from it, Joseph hears it and he weeps. Now, what will happen? We'll find out tomorrow, hopefully. So our first reading. The gospel today is Jesus, again, sending out the 12, naming the 12. Again, the 12 are named in this passage to try out what it is that Jesus has said they'd be able to do. And the interesting thing about it, Matthew's gospel says, do not go into any non-Jewish territory. Do not go into pagan territory, because he's come for the lost children of Israel. And Matthew would say that. Matthew would be exclusionary because Matthew is writing to the Jewish people and trying to tell them that this is the fulfillment of all the prophecies, that this is the Christ whom they have awaited, this Jesus of Nazareth who died and who rose. And so again, Matthew's sending out of the disciples, the apostles, is in a limited scope. And it's very exclusionary scope because of where Matthew's background is. Again, the greater thing about it, though, is that Jesus immediately has trust in the apostles to begin some part of spreading the mission. It just doesn't happen after the ascension. It happens in the middles of the Gospels. And the apostles don't really know what is going on. They don't know the fullness of it. And they probably say a whole bunch of wrong things. And again, God is able to make some good come out of that. And that's helpful for us always to remember that when we hear cockamamie things coming out of the mouths, especially of our leaders in the church or our leaders in countries or whatever it is there something that we can discern of goodness? Is there something that we can discern of something that is right and true of God in it? If we can find that, it's worth listening to. If it is not, then we should discard it, as we should discard all things that do not speak of God, that do speak of life, do not speak of the wholeness and wellness and dignity of us as human beings. A glorious day, St. Francis and people of God. Once again, may the Lord give you his peace.